ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिम् यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः।
अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्लोका नंबर 22। पुरुषः प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान्
पुरुषः प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान्
कारणं गुणसङ्गोऽस्य सदसद्यो निजन्मसु
कारणं गुणसङ्गोऽस्य सदसद्यो निजन्मसु
उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः
उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः
परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः
परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः
पुरुषः कः प्रकृतिः का अर्जुनेन प्रश्नः पृष्टः अस्ति षट् प्रश्नाः एकः एव प्रश्नः किन्तु विषयाः षट् प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद् वेदितुम् इच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव प्रकृतिः का पुरुषः कः क्षेत्रं किं कः क्षेत्रज्ञः किं ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च किं ज्ञेयम् इति षट् विषयाः इति षट् विषयाः षट् विषय इति विषयाः षट् तेषां ज्ञानं वेदितुम् इष्ट्वा अर्जुनेन प्रश्नः कृतः That is the first shloka. भगवता उक्तम् अस्ति क्षेत्रं किं क्षेत्रज्ञः कः ज्ञानं ज्ञेयम् इत्यादि विषये भगवता विस्तारेण उक्तमस्ति. Bhagavan has elaborated that we have seen up to 21, shloka number 21 elaborately. Now, about Purusha and Prakriti, that is the topic. Beautiful topic, important topic, Purusha and Prakriti. According to Sankhya Darshana, Dvaita Darshana, Purusha and Prakriti, they are two independent entities. Purusha, conscious being, and Prakriti is also an independent, but it is Jada. But according to Vedanta, being Advaita Darshana, therefore there is no Purusha, there is no Prakriti existing. Purusha alone is there, but there is no Prakriti existing apart from Purusha. Prakriti is nothing but, in Vedantic terminology, it is Maya. Trigunatmika Maya. The Prakriti, Maya, all are synonyms. It is made of three gunas. It is Trigunatmika, Brahmashaya, Prakriti, it is Maya. Now, how this Purusha, who is a conscious being, conscious, independent being, Asangaha Purushaha, how this Asanga Purushaha, Asangoyam Purushaha, how it is trapped in this samsara. That Bhagavan says, Prakritistaha Purusha, we have seen the last shloka, Purushaha Prakritistaha, which is obtained in the Prakriti, the Purusha. In fact, he is not a samsari, is Asangaha, but because of Ajnanam, because of Anatma Abhimana, therefore he becomes a samsari, karta, bhokta. Therefore bhungte, he enjoys, become bhokta, he becomes the bhokta, and he enjoys what? Prakriti Jan Gunan, the gunas of the Prakriti. The gunas are born of the Prakriti, That is that which is born of the Prakriti, Prakriti Karyam, that he enjoys. Prakriti Jan Gunan, he enjoys. And Saha Purushaha is Guna Sangaha, Asya Guna Sangaha is the cause. Asya Purushasya Guna Sangaha is attachment, is Sangaha, association with the Guna, is the Karanam for the Janma. Janma it is samsara. Sadasadyonisho, Janma in the Yoni, Janma through the Yoni of Sat and Asat. Sat is higher, Utkrishta, Asat, Nikrishta, Ado Janma. So whether Janma it is samsara only. Janma followed by Marana. Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janam, Jatareshayana, Mega Samsare, Bhagudustare, so samsara. Sasya Purushasya Gunasangaha Karanam Bhavati, Samsarasya Karanam Bhavati, and that is the form of Janma through the Sadyoni, Asadyoni, Deva Yoni or Ado Yoni. Any Yoni, it is Samsara. That is because of this Gunasangaha. Asangaha Purushaha becomes Sangi now. This is what Sangi really is. What is Sangha? It is Sangi. Now this Purusha, who is it Purusha? That Bhagavan clearly says the Purusha which is obtained in the Prakriti is Upadrashta. He is Upadrashta, he is Hanumanta, he is Bharta, Bhokta, and he is Maheshwaraha. Paramatma iti. Cha api uktaha saha asmindehe purushaha. It is a Mahavakya, in fact. This statement is Mahavakya. That person, that Maheshwara, the Paramatma which is obtained in the Shariram, that is Purusha, Purusha Paraha iti. Of a Mahavakya, that Purusha Paramatma is the Paramatma, Paramascha also Atma, Paramatma, that is Asmin Dehe means in this Shariram. Therefore it is Mahavakya, that is Tad Brahma Ahamasmi iti. So Upadrashta means is the one under whose is in the presence of whom everything happens. He is the always Upa near. At the same time, Drashta is a seer of everything, Sakshi. Hanumanta is the one who and whose under whose vision and supervision, whose permission, everything happens. So everything is, supported by this Hanumanta. Hanumanta by this Purusha, this Sakshi, this Atma. Everything is illumined by this Atma. And he's a Bharta, is the one who sustains. How this body, mind, sense organs is sustained. How they sustain? They are Jada. They are not Chaitanya. This Achetana Amsha is sustained by the Chaitana Amsha. Therefore, body exists. Body gains existence not because of itself. It is Jada, existence. Whether it is alive or dead, body, while living, it is. When the prana lives, then also it is slowly decomposes, the isness that sustains whatever it is. And he is the one who enjoys also Bhokta, that Purusha, the Ahankara, which is a Bhokta. What sustains that? Ahankara, even though it is Mithya, sustained by Purusha alone, therefore Bhokta. And he is Maheshwaraha, is Ishvara. Ishvara he is a Srishtikarta, Layakarta, and Sthitikarta also. And Saha Asmin Dehe dwells in this Shariram, obtains this Shariram. It's Paramatma. Therefore, it is Mahavakya. So even though Purusha, Prakritistaha, but he is not contaminated by Prakriti. He is independent. Prakriti is blessed by Purusha. Purusha is not connected to Prakriti. because of gunasangaha, abhimana with the attributes of the Prakriti is bound, as though bound. In fact, not really bound also. The Purusha is as though bound, as though bound, as though in bondage in samsara. Therefore, as though he is a samsari. Therefore, for the removal of samsara, it is not a real removal. It's not real samsara. Therefore, there is no real removal. Therefore, only because it is notional. Therefore, only jnanam. So notional, the wrong notion, wrong knowledge. Therefore, only jnanam. If it is real, then karma is required. It is not real. If it is real, karma is required. By karma, it can be removed. But again, it will subject to samsara because by action it is removed. Anything which is accomplishable by action is limited and it can come back again. You cannot remove it forever because it is achieved by action. Anything which is achieved by action is parichinna. Anything. You take bath, the body is now is free, becomes free from all odor, bad odor. Again, it comes back if you don't take. Therefore, it has to be done every day. Therefore, if it is this samsaritam has to go by action, then every day one has to clean. Then that is not mukti. Because here it is notional, that because the notion that is notional and the notion is wrong notion, because of which only a jiva is a purusha is a samsari. Therefore, it is not a real samsara. Therefore, only knowledge. If therefore there is no real sangha connection between purusha and prakriti, it is as though. So, having explained this, now the next shloka, Bhagavan, he concludes the topic of purusha and prakriti by giving the palashruti. What is the result of this knowledge? Result of knowing distinctly what purusha is, what prakriti is. Kim palam tena, kim prayojanam. That he says in the next shloka number 24. Ye evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunais saha.
य एवं
एवं
वेत्ति
वेति
पुरुषं
पुरुषं
प्रकृतिं
प्रकृतिं
च गुणैः
च
सह
गुणैः सह
सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते.
सर्वथा
सर्वथा
वर्तमानोऽपि
वर्तमानोऽपि न स
न स
भूयोऽभिजायते।
भूयोऽभिजायते।
यः एवं पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च वेति गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि सः भूयः न अभिजायते. यः यः मनुष्यः एवं यथोक्त प्रकारेण यः the one उक्त प्रकारेण एवं उक्त प्रकार in this manner who knows यः वेति जानाति one who knows the purusha, that purusha is kshetragya. One who knows is purusha kshetragya as what? Upadrashta, anubhanta, karta, bhokta, maheshwaraha, paramatma iti yaha janati yaha veti. And prakritim cha, and also prakriti also. Gunaihi saha, along with the guna, prakritim also. Prakriti is kshetra. Saha, along with sardam, sakam. Gunaihi saha. Gunaihi is sukha dukkha adibhi, vikarehi. That is what guna is, the attributes of the prakriti. So prakriti is kshetra, bhutam, mayakyam, trigunatvikam, prakritim. The kshetra is called prakriti. Trigunatmika, maya, prakriti. Yaha veti janati. The one who knows. One who knows Prakriti along with the guna. Prakriti is subject to change. Suppose Savikari Prakriti. That alone modifies to become this different Shariram. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Gunatmika, Prakriti. Three gunas. They become they undergo modification, undergoes Panchikaranam, etc. From that Sukshma Bhutani, Stula Bhutani, Panchabhautikam, the Shariram is born. Therefore, Janma, etc. All these belong to Prakriti. The gunas also, all the vikaras, Raga, Dvesha, Sukha, Dukkha, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, everything. All these are the vikaras. They belong to whom? To a Purusha? No, to Prakriti. Therefore, one who knows a Prakriti. So Purusha is Chetanamsha, Prakriti is Achetanamsha. It is Mithya because Purusha is Satyam, Prakriti is Mithya. Being Mithya, therefore Prakriti cannot affect Purusha. So this Purusha is Satyam, Brahma Satyam. This Jagat, which is modification of this Prakriti, is Mithya. That's it, Mithya. Karanam is Mithya, Karya also is Mithya. So Satyam, therefore Satyam Mithya. Satyam Mithya can be together because Mithya is Mithya, therefore it is Mithya never touches Satyam. Therefore, any amount of Mithya can be there, but Satyam remains unaffected. Satyam and Mithya, they can function together. They are intimately together at the same time. They are never together. They are never separate. They are never separate. At the same time, they are not. At the same time, Prakriti cannot touch Purusha. Prakriti and Purusha can, they are never separate. At the same time, Prakriti cannot touch Purusha. Purusha remains untouchable. At the same time, Prakriti is not away from Purusha. Both are together and they function together, and therefore this Jagat is. Because Prakriti alone cannot become this Jagat. The Purusha blessings are there. Therefore, both together operate and results in this Jagat. At the same time, the reality of Prakriti is, if you see, it is Mithya. Therefore, even though they are never separate, at the same time, Prakriti cannot touch Purusha also. That is Satyam Mithya. Okay, understood this. And then that Purusha is myself, not Prakriti or Prakriti Vikara. That knowledge is alone makes it Purnam. It is not enough to know Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That has to be at the individual level. Aham Saha Purushaha Natu Prakriti or Prakriti Karyani. Aham Prakritehe Sakshi iti. Prakriti and Prakriti Karyas, whatever happen, that is, I am the Sakshi of all. I am not affected by it because Aham Satya Atma, Aham Asangaha. So therefore, Aham Asangaha, this Jagat, which is Prakriti Mithya, this Sharimana Sangata, that is also Prakriti, Prakriti Vikara, that is also Mithya. Therefore, this Mithya cannot bind this Satya Purusha. Therefore, Sarvata Vartamanopi, Sarva Prakarena Vartamanopi, Pravartamanopi Loke. In whichever Sarvata, the Sarvata, whatever may be, whichever way, the way the life may be, whatever the person may be doing, Sarvata, the person, whether he is intensely active, or the person is in Samadhi, or if the person is a king or a poor, whatever may be, Sadhu or Asadu, Grasta, Brahmachari, the person is, whatever may be the type of life he may lead. Sarvata Vartamanopi, Saha, that person, after gaining this knowledge, whatever may be the life, that person Saha, after gaining this knowledge. So, yaha veti, that person only we are talking about. Yaha veti, yaha janati, who understands this Purusha and Prakriti distinctly, Saha, whatever may be the way of life, whether he leads, continues to lead a grastha life or sannyasa, brahmacharya, whatever it is, or if it's a grastha, or if it's a, is ruling the country, whatever it may be. Saha, na abhijayate, bhuyaha na abhijayate, he doesn't born again. He remains in this world as long as prarabdha is there. Once prarabdha is exhausted, he gains videha mukti. Jivan eva muktihi, jivan muktihi. Then after that, videha muktihi is not bound. He becomes, as though becomes one with the total. With this knowledge, a person can live in the world. Navadvare, the Bhashyam class just we saw, Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karahin. The world will not become a, Jagat will not become a binding element. Otherwise, this Jagat will be a difficult one for him to handle. He lives in the world, at the same time not touched by the world, with this knowledge. Without this knowledge, the person lives, then this world is horrible, becomes, it's a samsari, the world, this Jagat roasts him. Therefore, sarvata, sarva prakarena vartamanopi. After gaining this knowledge, because of prarabdha, his life continues. Therefore, whatever may be the way of life, taha na abhijayate, dehantaraya na abhijayate, dehantaram na grinnati. Another deha he doesn't gain, becomes muktaha. This knowledge liberates that person. Is because he's a veti, is janati, it's a jnani. Therefore, punaha na abhijayate, na abhijanyate, na utpadyate. Meaning, sarvata Momuchyate is becomes free forever. There is no punar janma for that person. So the knowledge of the Purusha, that is Kshetrajna, makes him free from this samsara. Prakriti is never bound in Prakriti after that. Then the next the shlokas. This chapter has got 35 shlokas. If we no, yes, 35 shlokas are there. So now 23. Now another 11, another shloka, 11 shlokas from here. They are the Upasamhara shloka. Upasamhara, the topic is now it is presented. Whatever questions asked by Arjuna, they were taught, they were discussed. Now, summing up, Bhagavan here presents some sadhana for gaining the knowledge of Kshetra, Kshetrajna and Palam also. He gives some sadhana for gaining. He has taught what is Kshetra, what is Kshetrajna, Purusha, Prakriti, Jnanam, Jnayam, etc. So what are the sadhanas? That's some sadhanas he gives, and also the Palam, the result of that sadhana. But the thing is, it is not given systematically, that we have to arrange. And also sadhanams which are presented, it is not uniformly for all. It depends on what stage a person is, level of the person in the Adhyatmika life. But whatever may be, that krama we have to be very clear. That is, Adhyatmika Jivanam starts with Karma Yoga. Why? Because Karma Yogena Chitta Shuddhihi. Chitta Shuddhihi means Jnana Yogyata Praptihi. Then Upasanam, Karma Yoga, Upasana, they go together. Karma Yoga followed by Upasana anyway. Upasana in the form of Upasana is Dhyanam on any Ishta Devata or Virat Upasana, cosmic meditation, meditating on the cosmos, or it could be japa, etc. Upasana. Ishta Devata also, Upasana. Upasana meditation that could be the form of a japa also, taking a mantra and doing japa, Upasana. What is the problem? Chitta Naishchalyam. So Karma Yogena Chitta Shuddhi, Upasana Chitta Naishchalyam, these are the prerequisites for the person to enter into Jnana Yoga, which is in the form of Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, these three. If the person is an Adhikari, Shravanamatrena, Jnanam Mokshaha iti. But Shravanena Jnana Prapti. Jnanam is only by Shravanam, not by any other means. Therefore, Jnane, Shravanena Jnanam, Jnana Prapti. Then Manana is for what? In Shravanam itself, Jnanam happens. In Mananam, if the person is not an Uttama Adhikari, Madhyama Radhama, then Manana is required because for the removal of Samshaya Nivrittihi, Mananam as a sadhana is required. Followed by Nididhyasanam for Viparita Bhavana Nivrittihi, Vipariyaya Nivrittihi, Nididhyasanam. So this is the karma. In whichever stage one is, one has to follow from that stage onwards, karma. Karma yoga, upasana yoga, then jnana yoga, which is in the form of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, then Nishta in this jnanam, then Samadhi, the karma. So one has to pass through these steps. Or one could have gained jnana yogyata, one must have done karma yoga, upasana by that jnana yogyata, therefore he can directly start from Shravanam also, jnana yoga directly. Or one has to start from the beginning if the person is without any purva samskaras. No samskaras are there, no good samskaras. Now at least he has got some interest in Adhyatmika life. Therefore, he may enter. Therefore, he has to start with Karma Yoga. Therefore, depends on the person, varies from person to person. Therefore, not one sadhana universally. It depends where you are, which stage of life you are. So that keeping in mind, you have to take the sadhana and the result of the sadhana, palams also are talked about. The next shloka, the Shankaracharya, in the Shankaracharya in the Bhashyam, he introduces saying, Atra Atma Darshane Upaya Vikalpa ime Dhyanadayaha Uchyante. That is how he begins the shloka with the introduction. So he says that regarding the Atma Darshan, mission of Atma Darshane, there are many optional methods that are given. Atma Darshane Upaya Vikalpa ime Upaya Vikalpaha ke Kaha ke Dhyanadayaha. Ke Dhyanadayaha. For Atma Darshanam, for getting the vision of the Atma, there are many optional methods. There are many methods. Vikalpaha, Upaya Vikalpaha. Vikalpa is for gaining the Yogyata for Jnanam. Vikalpa is not there for moksha. You have to understand very clearly. There is no alternate method for moksha. Moksha is only through Jnanam. But Jnana Yogyata Praptaye, Jnana Yogyata only when it is there, then only Atma Darshanam. Therefore, Tatra Upaya Vikalpaha Santi Jnanadayaha, that Bhagavan presents. Iti Bhashyakara, the Bhashyam, as an introduction to the shloka, he says. Now let us read the shloka number 25. ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना
ध्यायेनात्मनि
मनि
पश्यन्ति
पश्यन्ति
केचिदात्मानमात्मना
चिदात्मानमात्मना
अन्ये साङ्ख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे
अन्ये
साङ्ख्येन योगेन
योगेन
कर्मयोगेन चापरे.
The shlokas are, if not understood, they are subject to the wrong interpretations also. By Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya meaning inquiry. By inquiry, one can gain jnanam. And some people by Karma Yoga, they gain. Some people by Dhyana Yoga. So, therefore, different yogas are there, therefore, by which one can gain jnanam, become muktaha. Such interpretation will happen. If the karma, if the if if the problem is the problem being avidya, and the remedy for that problem avidya is vidya. If this is not understood, all these shlokas, you know, will be subject to wrong interpretations. So that's why the krama is important. That is why in the beginning we saw the krama. So here, Atma Darshane, Atma Vare Drashtavyah, Shrotavyah, Mantavyah, Nididhyasitavyah. So in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it said Atma has to be known, to be seen, to be known. For that Atma has to be listened to. Listen to meaning listening to the Shastra, meaning the inquiry into the Shastra. Inquiry into the Shastra not independently, with the help of the Guru. There may be doubts, and doubt is clarified by Mananam. And therefore, this Yasanam, one has to reflect upon the Atma. When all these are understood, then one gains clear vision of the Atma, and that person, having known Naham Atma, he becomes free from samsara. Therefore, Shavana Matrena Jnanam, then Mananam and Nididhyasanam is purely for the removal of obstacles. It's only for the removal of obstacles. How long one must do this Mananam and Nididhyasanam? Mananam till the doubts goes away, till the person gets convinced. There is no doubt. Because any knowledge with doubt, it's going to be dangerous. Doubtful knowledge is not knowledge. After all the doubts have been removed, one is convinced. No theologies or no views, no faiths can shake the understanding of the person. Then Nididhyasanam. The Nididhyasanam is also formula Viparita. How long? But how long one cannot ask depends. Because the Nididhyasanam itself will stop. So till Viparita Bhavana stops. So till you are at home, then one has to do till then one has to do this Nididhyasana. How long should I sleep? Nobody has. So when you wake up, then sleep goes away. Similarly also, how long should I do Nididhyasana, contemplation? There is no time period. Do it for 6 years. Do it for 6 days. Not like that. So till one gains clear vision of this knowledge, one has to do contemplation on Atma, Dhyana, Nididhyasanam. So after that, one doesn't require that the person knows. After eating, how long should I eat, or how much should I eat? How does a person know? The person knows. The person only knows. Similarly here also. So here, therefore, it says, Dhyanena Atmani Pashyanti. Dhyanena means not that the person starts with dhyana. Dhyana precedes Mananam. Here dhyana means Nididhyasanam. Therefore precedes Mananam. Mananam precedes Shravanam. So dhyanena, Nididhyasanena, which he does for a length of time. Time is subject to variation from person to person. So dhyanena, because Atmavare drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. So Nididhyasanam comes later for the removal of viparita bhavana, that is viparye nivrittaye nididhyasanam. Therefore, dhyanena tritiya. Therefore, karani tritiya, by meditation, pashyanti, kechit, some people. What is the object of meditation? Atma. Atmanam Atmana Dhyanena Atmani Pashyanti. All Atma only. Atmanam Atmani Atmana Pashyanti. You have to understand what so many Atmas are. What is that Atma is? Atmani means in the buddhi, antakarane, in the buddhi. Atmana by oneself, by the buddhi. Atmanam Dhyanam. Atmanam is the object of meditation. Atma, Atmanam, Ditya Vibhakti. Atmanam, Dhyanena, by meditation. Atmani in the Antakaranam, he says, Atma. Antakaranam is obtained in, Atma is obtained in the Antakaranam, Upalabdhistanam. There one recognizes the Pratibodha Viditam Matam, Bodham Bodham Prati, in every cognition, in every Pratyaya. Atma is obtained in the Antakaranam. Therefore, Atmani in the Buddhi. The Buddhi, Atma is recognized. So, Atmana by the mind, which is Atmana Samskrita Atmana, Samskrita Manasa, the mind which is disciplined, which is prepared, well prepared. So, Atma is known. Pashyanti means sees means recognizes or knows. Knowing in the form of not as an object. It is not Vishaya. It is not one of the Vishaya. Knowing is recognizing. Because Atma is ever known. But it is wrongly known, that is why samsara. So therefore it is Dhyanena Pashyanti. By Dhyana Nididhyasarena Pashyanti. This is what Nididhyasan dwelling upon, this Atma Pratyekatma. And this Pratyekat, this can be of two types. When you see any object, physically you seeing, or you may think of an object in your mind. When you think of a object, or when you perceive an object, then you turn your focus towards Pratyahatma. Bodham Bodham Prati, Viditam Matam. In every cognition, Atma is, and every perception, Atma is. So turn your focus from the object to the Atma. Because without Atma, which is a Sakshi, there cannot be the recognition of the object, physical object, or cognition of any Pratyas also. Then from that, turn your attention slowly to the nature of the Pratyatma by bringing in the words, the Shabdas, what you have heard during Shravanam. The Pratyatma is Atma is Avyayaha, it is Nishkriyaha, it is Purnaha, Tat Purna Atma, Asangaha Atma Aham. So that is Nididhyasana. So Dhyanena, by that Dhyanam, Kechit, some people, Atmana, Atmanam, Atmani Pashyanti. Then Anye, some other people, Sankyena, by which Sankhya is Vichara. Sankhya meaning Vichara, Sankyena Yogena, by Shravanena, by Shastra Vichara. They know, they understand Purusha and Prakriti. They gain the knowledge of Purusha and Prakriti, and they get moksha by that knowledge. Some people not ready for that. They require Antakarana Shuddhi, Jnana Yogyata. Therefore, for them, Karma Yoga. Karma Yogena. Anye, some Karma Yogena, they get Chitta Shuddhi. Then after that, Shravana Mananam, this other thing, the steps follow, the Krama follows. So Karma Yogena, it's very important. That steps is important. In the Bhashyam, Bhashyakara says, what is Dhyanam? Dhyanam nama shabdadibhyaha vishayebhyaha shotradini karanani manasi upasamhritya manaha cha pratyak chetayitri ekagratayitaya yat chintanam tat dhyanam. So dhyanam is ekagrataya yat chintanam. By focus, one-pointedness, yat chintanam, that is dhyanam. How this is to be done? All the Vishayas etc. External Vishayas should be withdrawn into the Karana, and the Karana should be withdrawn into the Mana, and Manas finally into the Pratyahatma, and Ekagrataya Tat Chintanam, that Pratyak Chetari, that is Dhyanam iti. So that Dhyanam should be like Tailadharavat, like the oil which flows without any obstruction continuously. Tailadharavat. Abhichinna Pratyaha Dhyanam. There is no division. There is no the pratyaya is not different pratyaya. Sajatiya, vijatiya, anantarita, sajatiya, vritti, prabhagha, dhyanam. That's what dhyanam. So meditating on Atma, dhyanena, pashyanti. Then anye yogena, sankhya yogena. Sankhya yogaha, tena pashyanti. Karma yogena, that is Ishvararpana buddhya. Ishvararpana buddhya, that is karma yoga. Anushtiyamanam yogaha iti uchyate. Anushtiyamanam karma yogaha iti uchyate. Therefore, yogaha. There Bhashyakara, the Bhashyam says, Sattva Shuddhi Jnanotpatti Dvarena. Sattva Shuddhi is Antakarana Shuddhi. Through gaining the Antakarana Shuddhi, then Jnana Utpatti. Jnana happens only in the Antakaranam, which is Shuddha. Dvarena, by that, apare, some people, they gain moksha, Atmanam Pashyanti. So Atmanam Pashyanti to be connected to all the three. Dhyanena, Kechit, Dhyanena, Atmanam Pashyanti. Kechit, that is Anye, Sankyena, Atmanam Pashyat. Anye, Apare, Karma Yogena, Atmanam Pashyanti. Karma Yogena is, then we have to understand, Bhashyakara, there he says, Sattva Shuddhi Jnanotpatti Dvarena, Apare, Karma Yogena, Atmanam Pashyanti. This point is not understood. That is why people say all yogas lead to, the same goal, that is moksha iti. That is wrong. Important point to be noted, and it is given by Bhashyakara in the Bhashyam. Kechit, that is anye karma yogena atmanam pashyanti, is, that is not directly. Sattva shuddhi jnanotpatti dvarena. Sattva shuddhi antakarna shuddhi. The antakarna which is shuddha, there only jnanam can rise. Therefore, jnana utpatti dvarena, karma, that karma yogena, apare atmanam pashyanti. Atmanam pashyanti means they recognize Atma. They know Atma. Pashyanti, see Atma, recognize Atma. Recognizing Atma is recognizing oneself and becoming free from this samsara. That is moksha. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. Atmavit Atmaiva Bhavati. Because Atma and Brahma, they are not different. So, Brahmavit, the knower of Brahma, recognizes oneself to be Brahma. And Brahma is Purna. Therefore, becomes Muktaha. That is the goal, moksha is the goal. Then there are other people who do not have the Viveka of Atman and Anatma. At the same time, they are not ready for the teaching. Even if you teach, they may not understand. But moksha, they want. For them also, Bhagavan prescribes discipline. Some disciplines he prescribes. So those who just follow the Upadesha, because they don't have the capability to understand what the Shruti says. But they're are ready to follow. Therefore, for them also, some Upadeshas are given, some disciplines are suggested. Following that, they may come to understand Shastra later. So that is why here in the beginning, the Vedanga, the grammar, etc., Tarka Shastra, etc., they are taught. So by that, slowly the person gets prepared for Jnana. Even Vyakaranam also. First, there is Ruchi in the Vyakaranam, then slowly gets expanded to Shastram. Even the person is not interested in Shastram, the person is a thinking person, is ready to use his buddhi, then Vyakaran or Tarka will help. He may get interest in that. And slowly he may come to Vedanta. So that is the The idea, and also, of course, for us understanding Vedanta, Vedanga is important. Vyakaranam, Tarka, all these are important. More than Tarka is the language of logic. Both of the Vyakaranam is important to understand Vedanta, supportive. Or some people may for require upasana, japa, etc., or ashtanga yoga. So all these are the disciplines which can be taught to those who are not prepared to understand the Shastra. Because Shastra presents the Atma Tattvam, which is subtle, which is Sukshma Vishaya, it is Durvigneya. So for them, other disciplines are suggested. That Bhagavan says here. Let us read Shloka number 16. Anye त्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्यमुपासते
अन्ये त्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुतवान् येभ्य उपासते
तेऽपि चातितरन्त्येव मृत्युम् श्रुतिपरायणाः
तेऽपि चातितरन्त्येव मृत्युं
श्रुतिपरायणाः
अन्ये तु एवम् अजानन्तः श्रुत्वापि अजानन्तः श्रुत्वा अन्येभ्यः उपासते अन्ये tu is for vailakshanyaarte ajanantah atmanam purusham apashyantah ajanantah anyebhyah aparebhyah other for other people. Tu is for vailakshanya, to distinguish from what was said in the previous shloka. So there for them what is said, they are supposed to follow what they have heard from the teacher. So if the person is advised to do some puja, some japa, or some yoga, asana, etc., that person has to do, even though it has no connection directly, but they are Shruti Parayanaha. Shruti Parayanaha is they are committed to they are Shruti Parayanaha, they are committed to they do what they heard, what they hear. Shruti Parayanaha. Because Atmanam apashyantaha shrutva api upasate. So etu ajanantaha shrutva anyebhyah other people atmanam ajanantah means jnatum asamartaha. Bhashya in Bhashyam says they are not samartha in knowing the Atma. Therefore Acharyebhyah Shutva idam eva chintayata iti do this upasana. Therefore upasate, they do upasana. Because they are Shaddadhanaha Purusha, therefore upasate, upasanam kurvanti. Because Acharya suggests do this upasana. Because it will give Chitta, Naishchalya, Chitta Shuddhi, do this action, do this karma. They also, tepi, and they are committed to following what they hear as Upadesha from the teacher. So they will not argue, they just follow what they hear. Therefore, techa api atitaranti eva atikramanti eva this mrityum. They also will cross over this samsara because they are Shruti Parayanaha. Shruti is Shravanam. That is the Param Ayanam, Gavanam, Mokshamarga Pravruto, Param Sadhanam, Bhavati Yesham Te. That becomes the Param Sadhanam for those people who are not ready for understanding the Shastram. They just follow what they hear. By that, they gain the eligibility and they also Mrityum Taranti. Finally, Mrityum Maranam Atitaranti, Atikramanti. So Shruti Parayanaha is Shruti is Shravanam, Upadeshaha. Param Utkrishtam Mayanam. Purushasya Atmanaha Prapto Jnane Darshane Sadhanam. That which is a sadhanam, the means for gaining the vision of the Purusha. Whatever sadhanam is required. Karma Yoga, for example, Karma Yoga, Upasana, etc. Therefore, by that, slowly in course of time, going through the process, then Purusham Sakshat Kritya Maranam Aditaranti. They cross over this Maranam. They are Shruti Parayanaha. They are committed to listening and following the Upadesha of what they hear, Shravanam. So Shruti Parayanaha, the word has to be understood, the context. In Bhashikara says the meaning of the Shruti Parayanaha, Moksha Pravruto Sadhanam. That is Shruti Parayanaha. They are Moksha Pravruto Sadhanam. Moksha Pravruto Sadhanam Bhavati, for whom they are Shruti Parayanaha. Moksha Pravruto, for gaining moksha, it is a sadhanam for those, for them, that is Shruti Parayanaha. They are also in course of time, following the Krama, will get moksha in time. They also will cross death. Death means gain moksha. They also will get. Because they work for, by following the sadhana, they work for all of the obstacles, all the pratibandha. When pratibandhas are gone, and through jnanam they gain moksha. This is for those people who, having heard from ajanantaha shutva, having heard from others, anyebhyaha is there, and shutva anyebhyaha is from others. Others means what? Acharyebhyaha. Ajanantaha, not knowing in this manner means not knowing as in the manner as taught in the previous shloka. Those people, others not knowing in this manner, not ready to know in this manner. Therefore, having heard from others, that is acharyas, and being committed to what the acharya said, they are Shruti Parayanaha. Therefore, they follow the Upadeshas as given by the acharya. What are the Upadesha? Not Atma Upadesha, because we are talking about the other people. So for them, Karma Yogis, like in the Gita, Bhagavan advises Arjuna to follow yoga, Karma Yoga, because he knows he is not ready for sannyasa. Sannyasa means jnanam. Even though he has given jnanam, the jnanam has to seep inside, takes time. Therefore, other sadhanas are suggested. They also will cross death. They also will cross the samsara in time. Kalena vindati iti. The next shloka that we will see, the next class. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Pastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶರಣಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
ಜಿ ನಾ ಎನಕೊಂದು ನಾ வந்து next 20 seconds